So I do want to talk a little more about the Creation Club in more measured terms. However, I have to get something off my chest. There's something that's been bugging me and I really do need to ramble about it just a little. So feel free to skip this video if you're looking for content that actually adds anything to the conversation. This is just for my own sanity. What I want to ask in this video is if people could stop posting comments predicting the death of modding. Every single time something happens with modding or Bethesda or Nexus, the inevitable comments come out. Modding RIP, modding is dead, it's the death of Nexus, it's the death of gaming, it's the death of YouTube.
Everybody's dead, Dave.
Rimmer!
He's dead, Dave. Everybody is dead. Everybody is dead, Dave.
It's always the death of whatever we're talking about. Every single time. I have gone through so many of these Modpocalypses. I've gone through so many YouTube apocalypses as well. I've gone through so many apocalypses of so many different things. They really are getting so damned repetitive. I almost need to give them yearly titles or something. I'd be like, remember Modpocalypse 2013? Oh, well, that wasn't as good as the YouTube apocalypse of 2011. I've still got the t-shirt from that one, you know. I mean, they're just so common, they are now yearly, if not bi-yearly events. Oh, and on a side note, if you're one of those people that called me naive for not thinking this was the death of modding, and you called me naive the last Modpocalypse, and you called me naive the last one before that, and so on, you have to go out and buy a new dictionary because I'm afraid you seem to be having a bit of a Princess Bride moment.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
The Creation Club may suck, and honestly, from my first look at it, it may suck. But modding doesn't. Modding is fine. Modding is going to be fine. People are still going to be making mods, even if the Creation Club is releasing things that are similar to the mods they're making and charging a fortune for them. People are still going to do it. It is going to be annoying to see that sort of thing if it survives, but modding will continue. Now, if you're one of these people who thinks, no, Bethesda's going to shut down modding, and again, people have been saying this for years, I'm sorry, I see no evidence of that. I've seen nothing they've said that would indicate that. And if you're one of these people who says, well, it makes sense. If they shut down modding, it'll force people to buy mods and they'll make more money. I see even less evidence that that is true. I cannot see how shutting down mods will actually make them money. Quite the contrary. I think if they shut down modding, they will, well, maybe irrevocably harm their own image and product. That would be the moment where I could say, you know what, maybe we just did see the death of Bethesda Gaming Studios or something. Shutting down free modding would not only be a PR disaster, I think it would be functionally disastrous. They would not sell more Creation Club stuff just because people didn't have access to free mods. Modding is a major part of the Bethesda Gaming Studios games. It has been for quite some time. Now, people are going to say, but it's not that big on the consoles. And that is actually true, and those are probably a bigger market than PC. But the modding community, the modding scene, has kept BGS games relevant long after their sell-by date. You only have to look at Skyrim to realise what modding can do for a game. It can keep that game front and centre in the public's eyes for such a long time. Skyrim is still relevant. Fallout 3 and New Vegas are still relevant. There are still people playing the original Morrowind and Oblivion games because of modding. And keeping a game in the public eye is, well, that is pretty much free publicity. It's free hype generation, and it's also one of those things that people remember. Oh yeah, Skyrim, you can really mod it, you can change it, it can add tons of stuff to your gameplay experience, and this is a massive positive thing. If Bethesda haven't realized what they get from modding, well, to be honest with you, I'm pretty damn sure they do. I'm pretty sure they realize it goes beyond just the cost that they might be able to make from mods, and it impacts their bottom line in a very real way. I'm not saying they would die without the modding scene, or that, you know, they owe all of their profits to the modding scene. Far from it. I mean, most of their profits probably come from sales of the game that happen in the initial period. But I would suggest they are still getting steady sales years and years after, in no small part thanks to the modding community. I have no figures to back that up, but I cannot tell you how many times I've had messages or mails from people saying, thank you very much, I used to play Skyrim on the console, but after watching your videos, I've gone out and built myself a gaming PC and bought Skyrim on the PC, and I'm now playing it there. This is people who have bought the game twice because of modding. Now, I do realize that in corporations and companies in general, there's always going to be one or two people who come up with an idea that basically nickel and dimes the customer. They're going to try and eke out every cent they can, because for them, that's the bottom line. But overall, the companies in general now do realize that public relations, customer satisfaction, and just general goodwill are also a currency. Some companies realize it more than others. I mean, you've got CD Projekt Red, who place a premium on goodwill, and then you've got some companies, you know, the sort of things that Jim Sterling will cover, who pretty much don't even seem to realize their customers are human. Bethesda Gaming Studios are not that company. They understand goodwill. I honestly believe that from listening to some of the interviews. You know, they may make some mistakes, they may try the occasional thing that makes us go, really? But overall, they seem to be genuinely in touch with their, well, I say in touch with, they are generally aware when they have made a major mistake. We only have to look at horse armor to realize they do know when they step in it, and they do try to fix it somewhat. They've even acknowledged that Fallout 4 had some flaws, they tried some stuff that didn't work, and hopefully that means they won't do it again. Because realistically, acknowledging the mistake shows an awareness and a willingness to, you know, move beyond it. So I honestly don't think they're going to completely steamroll their customer and do something so stupid as to wipe out modding. Yes, they may keep trying little schemes like the Creation Club to try and make a little extra money, but at the end of the day, I don't think they're going to take that final plunge and just set fire to the entire building. So, a quick recap. Modding is not dead. I do not believe Bethesda are trying to kill off modding. I don't think they are planning to stop free modding so they can make more money, because I don't think that will work. I do not think they will make more money, and I'm fairly sure they have to see that. I know people like to go all jaded and go, oh no, they really are that stupid, but I honestly don't think so. And until I see some evidence, and no, the Creation Club is not evidence of that. The Creation Club is evidence that they're trying to find some way to make a little extra cash. I don't buy the hype that they're doing this just for us and it's there to enhance our experience. They've got to say that because that's the marketing ploy. They're doing it because they think they can make money off it. And you know what? There's nothing more natural than that. It's the way things work. And it's going to happen more and more as modding becomes more and more accepted. As modding spreads to consoles, companies are going to try and work it into their business model. Some will leave it totally free because they know it brings in attention and goodwill. Some will try to turn it into microtransactions. But I think a lot of them are just going to have to find a new way. What that way is, I don't know. So, you know, modding will probably change, but it's more likely to change in new games. The Bethesda modding community is pretty old, it's pretty big, and it's unlikely to be something they can change quickly and manipulate into being a massive money-making scheme for them. it already is a benefit to them, they would be very unwise to rock the boat too much. They are going to rock the boat a little, I know that. Whether they will find this happy medium where they can make a little extra cash doing some third-party content, that remains to be seen. I have several ideas on how they could have done this, and how they should do it, and how they could still do it, but I will leave those for a different video. Thank you for listening to me ramble. I'm sorry if you're part of the "oh my god, we're all going to die" squad, and you feel this video was an attack on you, but you know, try to be a little less negative and try to look at things as they are. Try to look at what has happened before. We've seen the death of modding so many times, and yet modding comes out alive at the other side. There are two explanations for this. Modding is either a zombie that has been reanimated many times, or it doesn't keep dying when you say it's dying. Just bear that in mind.